It's summer here in Sweden, and while Vera is on summer holiday, we try to get in some work on the boat when we can. We've just finished the side decks, and last week we weighed the boat for the first time, and the results were quite surprising.
So I had some big plans for this week to start building the deck of the Coachroof just up here. But after some thinking, I've changed my mind because we're still missing the corner pieces on both of these bulkheads and this lengthwise bulkhead here to get into this locker. And all of these pieces are touching the ceiling of that deck, and it's a lot easier to install them without having the deck in place. So I'm thinking I need to do these before I start working on the deck. And both of these pieces are quite time consuming because there is a radius on them. This one will have the same radius that we have on this corner. I can't remember correctly now, but I think it's 175 millimeter radius, something like that. And then we have a smaller radius over here, which is the same as we have on that corner. But the good thing is that I still have that mold that we used for this one, so I think this one will be pretty straightforward. And that one, I think I did that over a pipe, a PVC pipe, so I guess I'll do the same this time.
Johan is working alone in the barn now during summer, since I'm with Vera. We've been hanging out on the farm and doing little projects together. When she starts school in mid-August, I'm looking forward to be back building on our boat.
Yeah, I can tell you it was a real struggle getting this piece in the bag. It was just a mess. First I had epoxy that had poured out onto the vacuum bag, so I had a real problem getting it to seal nicely against the tape. It was just a mess, so in the end I just ended up ripping the whole bag off and the tape and redo everything. New tape, new bag. And now finally I have some pressure on this. And it's not 100%, there is a leak somewhere, probably from the mold itself, from underneath, and I can't seem to find it. But I think there's pressure enough. Yeah, I should have known this because I had the same problem the last time I used this mold. But for some reason I had put that way back there somewhere. But that's how it is sometimes, and at the end I think it will be just fine. So the corner piece is in place. I think it turned out quite okay actually, besides this little indentation here. And that's from me making a mistake. There's a pipe at the end of the vacuum hose, and normally I have a pretty thick cushion underneath that to prevent this from happening. But it seems like in this case that cushion was too thin. So that pipe got pushed into the foam, making this small indentation. But it's okay, I will just fill it with some thickened epoxy. So next step now will be to continue with this piece, where we're going to have a door into the pantry. And then obviously later on, once I have all the pieces in place, everything will be tied together with fiberglass tab together over the joints here. Maybe I can have this piece in here by tomorrow. I plan to get it laminated and vacuum bagged today. And yeah, and then I need to cut the door and all of that. But yeah, sometime tomorrow I think I will have that finished, at least all the pieces. And once those pieces are done, I will continue with the radius on this side. All right. Okay, so the pantry bulkhead, if you can call it that, is in the vacuum bag now. And while that's curing, I'm thinking I will start working on the other side. So I will use this as a mold. And I will not vacuum bag this. I will just fill these grooves with thickened epoxy and laminate on this side. Then I'll put some peel ply on that and some plastic in between. And try to fold it up like this around this roller and hold it in place with tape. And then I will let that cure and then laminate the other side tomorrow. Yeah, maybe not the most sophisticated way to do this, but it worked and it was fast and I didn't have to build a mold for it. And I will only use, because you can see the edges here, it's not attached to the foam, but the important part is only this piece at the center here. I only needed to make it this wide to get some leverage on it when I was holding it down over the paper roll. So this will be fine. I will just cut off the edges here to make it fit in that corner, but I will wait with that for now and continue working on the pantry bulkhead. Almost finished with the radius here. It's glued in place with the epoxy and everything. Now I just need to sand this to get it a bit more smooth, and then I will glass over this whole thing. But there's a slight problem, as you might see. It's a bit too close to the opening here. And that's because I didn't want to make the top here more narrow and move this radius further out. And I didn't think about that when I made the cut here for the door. So this will be something that we need to change. It will be a pretty quick fix. I'll just fill in a little bit on this side so that we have a gap here between the radius and the actual door opening. So once we have that new foam in place here, I will glass over the whole thing in one go on both sides. So one thing that's quite nice when doing a change like this is that we have all of these bulkheads, all the pieces, I still have them as cutting files. So I just brought that bulkhead up where you see the opening of the head door. So here I have the height and the radius in the corners. So now I can just use this to make a template for the new foam piece that we're going to put in there by dragging another piece on top like this, and then just highlight both of them, and then I can use this. So now I have a new cutting file of the door which I can make changes to. So we'll make a shape out of that. We can remove that, take that to the side, and then we can work with this piece. So let's say we wanted to shift the door 5 centimeters. We just cut away 5 centimeters on this door, a rectangle like this. Let's make it 2000 by 1500. Oh, sorry, more. Check if everything lines up. So now I have 2 doors on top of each other. So I'll use that to make the next piece. So just highlight both of them like this. Go to Shapeshifter, and then I just click on that piece. And that's the piece that we're going to use to fill in on the port side. So make a shape out of that. It's aligned up here, but that's okay. Just take another cutting piece. Yeah, something like that. Here's the cutting file. So pretty fast, and it's really helpful to just have all of these files still, all the pieces of the interior when making changes like this. Let's make this cut. So both of the radius corners are now in place and laminated. I think it turned out really good. And yeah, next step now will be to just trim off the edges here, some excess glass. I still need to do some tabbing on the back side here on both sides, but I've decided to wait with that and continue with the Coachroof, which was the plan initially for this week. And there is quite a lot of details with that. And the reason that I've decided to start with the roof and not the sides on the combing here is because it's easier to outline the shape of the combing once the Coachroof is in place. So I will mount that first, but as you can see, there is nothing holding it up here on the sides. So I need to make a couple of beams and probably some temporary stuff just to hold that up in the correct position so that I can place the Coachroof on top here and glue that in. And once that is in place, I can continue with the combing the sides, because then I have a defined line around the perimeter of the deck, but also at the Coachroof. And yeah, the space or the angle in between those lines will be the correct angle of the actual combing. So it's just a way to make it easier to build this. Because if I would have started with just the combing, the sides, it would be hard to know exactly that I had the correct angle on the sides on all the different places here. So I think this will be a lot easier.
Ska vi bygga tak, och då så behöver man en glasfiber först, och sen måste man mäta. Och sen jag vet inte, de slipper. Och hej då, nu får pappa berätta istället.
Yeah, I just had to lift it up here just to see how it looks. And it's a quite big space. It's always, you see it in the drawing, in the 3D model, but in reality, some areas come out quite different. And this is a lot bigger than it looks in the computer. So really nice, and I think this will be a great area to just sit and hang out. Obviously there will be some stuff up here, some lines and stuff from the mast. The mast will sit roughly in this area. It's quite flat. There is some bend to it, but it's not a lot. It's an arc with 15 millimeters at the center line over the widest span back here. And it will be a challenge to build this, that's for sure, to get the correct shape of the whole thing. I think the biggest challenge will be the front piece here with the corners, to get that to look the same on both sides. But I still think that this is the best way to do it, because now I have a clear line on the top deck of the Coachroof and also down on the side decks and in the front, so that we have the correct angle on everything. And I'm thinking right now that it should be possible to do the full lamination on this, down on the table, lift it up here, so that we have a rigid panel when it's time to get it glued in. That will make it a lot easier to have an even shape on it. There will be 2 beams across here, one at the far end over here and one in the middle at this open space here in the middle. And then between those D1 lower brackets where we have those carbon fiber bulkheads, we'll have a compression post across here to help with the loads from the rigging. So I'm thinking those 3 beams and the 2 beams and 1 compression post, that will help with the shape of the deck sideways here. Yeah, and like I said before, there's lots of details in this, and I haven't figured out all of them just yet, but there's a few. I need to remove the core where we're going to have the brackets for the shame plates. There's going to be some hatch over here, some extraction for the stove down below in that area, and then of course where the mast is coming through, we're going to remove the core around the edges of that hole. So I'm really excited to get this piece installed, and especially once we have the sides in as well, because then you will see the proper shape of this. But this is as far as I can take it this week. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we hope to see you back here next Friday. Take care. Bye-bye.